And I'll say good morning and welcome to a brand new week. It feels so good to be back on the show, and it's time to catch up on all the stories from the weekend. And today we're spilling all the tea this morning. My name is Omotunde Adebowale David. Welcome.
Nothing brings me more joy than actually to be back on this table with my beautiful ladies. However, today, there is a new phase to you all, but definitely not a new face to Lola and I.
No.
Me, I'm just happy. This face is smiling at me today because trust me, and Lola can attest to this. You don't want to see her other side. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me the pleasure, the honor of introducing our erudite producer, as in, one say, you know when you say resting face? I didn't say it too. Our producer, Bukola Oloyede, is here with us today. She's standing in for Tolu, should be on her way back to Lagos right now as we speak. See the things to do for you guys? Let's start the show already. My name is Catherine Obiang. Bonjour.
I thought Buki was going to respond to the Catherine.
No, Buki cannot interrupt my flow. You see this flow? I had to give it out from top to bottom. But God.
You have to catch yourself there before you say something you're not supposed to say on air.
Yes.
It's definitely different to be on this side of the table or on this side of the camera. But yeah, it's nice to join you guys finally on set.
Yeah, I hope I get over being scared, but I'll be okay. Anyway, I've been holding this since Saturday. Honestly, Buki, have you ever seen where, you know, an eagle actually ate a lion? And I'm talking to somebody on this table. Up, eagles, down, lions. Up, eagles, down, lions. I'm saying it because I know you're half Nigerian and half Cameroonian. And I'm even wondering, where was your allegiance lying when they were trashing?
No, there's
Have
even
your
no,
country.
guys. Come on, you didn't do that.
I actually felt for you because I remember on Friday, Lola was teasing you about this on Friday. And she posted a video saying, oh my God, I don't know who I'm supposed to support. I was feeling for you.
My heart was torn in two. I won't even form. Lola, but shy, it's too early now. It's a new week, Habana. Let's just start normally. But you see this game, I won't lie to you when I say my heart was torn in two, because after this match, we had a family meeting. Like, I'm serious. And I couldn't really be excited. While I was excited, I kept saying on Friday, may the best team win. And, you know, the Eagles emerged
victorious. Say it loud. Victorious.
The Eagles emerged victorious. Bravo.
Yeah.
So Sime is even trending.
My G. It was a good match. I caught a little bit of it. I can't say that I'm really a football fan, to be honest. But I will watch from time to time. And I think within the first 12 minutes, they had scored the first goal, which was an offside, unfortunately. But I think they definitely were on the right track. And, you know, there's some predictions that they could make it all the way to the final.
I don't want to get my hopes up. Let's take every match as it comes.
No, but the truth is, if, like, when the DRC were playing Egypt yesterday, and I said, anything could happen. And people would say, no, the Egyptians, the Egyptians, you don't know, the Egyptians are really sturdy, they have experience. I'm like, the DRC, they play as if they are dancing sukus. They play football the way they're dancing sukus. They play, you know, and then the underdogs, the power of the underdogs. Guys, let's not just go into football. I'm just going to go all the way. Let's not go into football.
So you guess what? You know, I'm here as a standing for Tolu, but at the same time, I'm still producing. So let's move on.
Anyway,
because there's a lot to get through.
Honestly, I can't even wait to get into this particular one because many Nigerians were up in arms this weekend. Trust me, a video emerged when our beautiful Ira Star singer, Nigerian music singer, yes, I'll say Gen Z singer, the way she greeted Nigeria's music legend. I'm talking about King Sunny Ade, aka KSA, with a handshake at an event.
Biko, what is the big deal?
Okay, wait.
What is the big deal?
Maybe are we? No, seriously. Let's go
I'm
back
waiting
to
for
it.
you guys to say.
No,
Let's go back to- let's
I
go
want
back
to
to
know what the big deal is.
Is it a culture
Yes.
thing? Are we now? Would we say overhyping culture? Now, Lolo, calm down. I know Lolo's leg is shaking under the table.
Look, I think that we need to get over ourselves. I think that we overhype culture. I think that we weaponize culture, especially against women. I think that somebody does not have to lie down on the floor to show respect.
But maybe she was overwhelmed. Look at this. Look at the video.
It's
here.
possible that she was
you keep
overwhelmed.
quiet? Would you all keep quiet? What are you even saying? Should you even be saying it? So Ira Star should stretch her hands and greet King Sunny Ade. No. That was the height of, I don't even know,
What you
disrespect,
indiscipline.
indiscipline,
It's not
disregard.
that deep,
I
Lolo.
don't, no, wait.
It's
I'm not saying
that deep.
I am not saying that she needed to kneel down. And I'm not blaming Ira Star either. I'm blaming her handlers. I can see a guy behind her. There are some things you tell your brand. Maybe she didn't even know who they were. You whisper to her ears and say, this is this person.
How can you know?
But she came back to she came and she counted a little bit. So I don't understand what the hype is all about.
Okay.
Don't let me speak Ijebu because this one I can't even get over it. I know everybody was talking about
get over it.
See what see the big English she used now. Weaponizing
I know,
culture against
I know
women.
people will come from me because they will hear Bukola Aloyede, you're a Yoruba girl, you're supposed to be in support of this and the other. Look, all I'm saying is that we weaponize culture and we bring out that weapon and we bring out the shotgun when it suits us. And it's not necessary. That's all I'm saying.
But she apologized.
And she did apologize.
We take her apology, but what is not good is not good. But we point it out to her. Even I saw a video where the legend, Wizkid was on the stage and the legend was beside him. Wizkid dobale.
But is it, do you think it's possible that she got in, you know how sometimes you're public speaking, right? Or just say you go to an event, you don't know who's there because the lights are in your eye, you're in a frenzy, everything is just sort of
happening
overwhelming and happening fast at the same time. And all you can do is just greet somebody and be going.
But honestly, that's why I said it. I said two things. I said I blame Ira Star's handlers. Honestly, sometimes PAs don't know what their job is. Sometimes when I go to events, I don't know some of these new Gen Z people. My PA will move close to me and whisper, oh, this is this person, or this. Also, I'll just quickly adjust myself. If they had done that to her, she would have done better. But because I don't think she's such I'm looking for the word that will not be anti-TV.
But maybe she was overwhelmed. You see that it's part of culture, it's part of respect.
Yes.
That you go to a place where you see your elders.
These ones are not just elders, so these are deities.
So, first of all, she cannot, like Mbuki says, when you go to a place and there are lights, or you go to a place and you start on a false note because you're just overwhelmed. There's so many big people that you see there.
And she's young. She's young. Like, so maybe cut her some slack for crying out loud.
So because you are cutting her some slack, should the elastic now cut?
Okay, let's move
on. So the elastic should just
it's okay.
give way.
It's okay.
Sorry,
Shay, you have collected the sorry. You're okay now.
Yes.
All right.
Collected it.
Let's move on.
Thank you.
Let's move on now. Let's move on seriously. But we're going to be focusing on women's stories today. Lolo, please control yourself. We're entering women's stories. Remember, you can join the conversation though live at News Central TV. #JASIRI. Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. But now, after the break, our conversations take us across Africa to our sisters in Kenya and Cameroon, and later in Hot Topics, you won't believe what the mother of a 15-year-old high school student had to face in an encounter when she discovered after her daughter, she took her daughter to register for JAM. It's hot and steaming right here on JASIRI. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to JASIRI this morning. We are touching on a very sensitive topic and one that needs more media coverage because the lives of women and girls across the continent are in danger. Violence against women is not new in our society, but it is an epidemic and a universal problem.
Now we're talking about femicide. If this term is new to you, On Women defines it as an intentional killing with a gender-related motivation. That may be stereotyped gender roles, discrimination towards women and girls, unequal power relations between women and men, or harmful social norms. Although we've seen cases where offenders are punished, the truth is that too many victims of femicide still go unnoticed and unrecorded.
The UN Women reported in 2022 that Africa recorded the largest absolute number of female intimate partner and family-related killings with an estimated 20,000 victims, followed by 18,400 in Asia, 7,900 in the Americas, 2,300 in Europe, and 200 in Oceania. But today, we spotlight Kenya, where 8 women and girls have been lost to femicide in January alone. This past Saturday, Kenyan women took the streets to protest, and the hashtag #EndFemicideKE took the internet by storm. Joining us from Nairobi, Kenya, is poet and human rights activist Rachel Stephanie Akimi. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Good morning.
Thank you so much for having me. Exactly have this conversation.
Okay. So what incidences led up to the protests, and what has been the official response since the first killing this year?
So earlier on, at the beginning of the year, there are so many reports that had been made regarding a number of women being killed. As of January to date, I know you mentioned 8, but currently we are counting around 9 people. And I think there are 2 incidents that actually led to a whole rife in the country. Rita Manu, who was barely 20 years of age, and there was also Starlet Wahoo, who was a well-known influencer. And I think it was more interesting considering her body parts found in a section in Nairobi, Roysambu to be more precise, where there are dismembered parts of herself found disposed of at a dustbin. So following that, and now the continuous numerous numbers that are coming up, and to just think, for the past 5 years, we already have over 500 women who've lost their lives as a result of femicide. This definitely led to the whole outcry from different civil society organizations, and it was a huge and bold step for Nyeri Wamigwi from Usikime to actually organize a march from Nairobi, and then to have other organizations also join in from places like Kisumu, Mombasa, and then to just have the whole country and thousands of people actually show up. It was a really beautiful scene to see, and definitely this should be handled with the utmost promptness that it requires.
Wow, I mean, it's sad to. Do you have any other thing to add?
So far, that's what I have. That's actually at the major trigger, is also considering the fact that the statistics is not very clear, and to have different organizations actually look into it, and then to recognize that every January there's actually a lot of issues that are aligned to femicide that actually occur. I would say this and many more reasons has been the reason behind the whole march that was actually happened on the 27th.
Thank you very much for your insights so far. I just wanted to ask, one of the victims, the 8 victims that was killed this January, was a social media influencer, Starlet Wahoo. Do you think this had any impact on how quickly the police responded, Has any of the, other suspects been apprehended? Or what are the police saying, particularly about this particular killing?
I wouldn't say that it's a single case that has led to the rise that we are experiencing right now. I would say it's the increase of numbers of the femicide cases that have actually led to now women standing up and talking about gender-based violence on this spectrum. Of course, Stella Wahu is one of the key reasons why this has come out very, very, very right, because of course, as an influencer, this conversation was definitely out from the public. And the fact that it's no longer a single person having this conversation, but there are so many organizations that are actually working together to ensure that women feel safer. I would say that's the reason behind this conversation right now. And that's behind this being very important and instrumental towards talking about policies, the need to amend policies. And over the years, the police haven't really taken charge in these cases. And that explains why we're actually advocating for the government agencies to actually come and actually notice this as a national crisis. There's been a really, really, really slow means of handling cases. For instance, this issue that's being handled of a lady who was raped and it's taken over. We are currently on the fourth year, and probably it's gonna take 4 years for justice to actually knock on that door. So we are really praying that this march will show the agency and actually have the police take charge, as should, other than delaying these cases, because then again, just delayed is justice denied.
Rachel, we must apologize. The audio is a bit tricky there, but we could make out what you were saying because we are very interested in this. I know that Kenya has adopted treaties that address gender-based violence, the UN Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, and the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Now, national laws like the Sexual Offences Act also criminalize violence against women. And in addition, the Kenyan police have a specialized gender desk for such offences. But from various reports, it appears that government policies are scarcely effective. Why do you think this is?
I'm glad that you're asking this question. First, can I be heard?
Sorry?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
So the sound is the sound better right now?
Yeah, just continue. He can hear you. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. It's unfortunate that although we have laws in place, they are not as active as should. And there are so many reasons that have been put forth for this. I would say it's practically because we're in a patriarchal society, and so there's a lot of discourse around victim blaming instead of the discussions around having justice for the souls that have been lost. So if this society in itself is talking about how the victim should have protected themselves better, then it makes it hard to be able to fight for justice in these cases. And that explains the slowdown that we actually see from the police officers, considering most of them are male anyway. And the fact that it's not being taken with the seriousness it deserves, because victim is what is actually being at, and misogyny is being fueled everywhere. Top of the conversations that we're having on social media, you can actually see that most people are changing the discussions from justice is needed to now focusing their attention more on the victim and what the victim should have done. Then by already focusing on the victim, we're forgetting that there's actually a perpetrator who's going to walk scot-free from killing someone, you know?
Yeah.
And part of this, and the fact that we also have, we're living in a
Stephanie,
culture that has always,
Stephanie, can you hear me? Now that you have touched on a very sensitive topic, I just wanted to, push further a little on that we know that women should be more responsible. And you have also talked about the culture that is very deterrent, is very bad. That is victim shaming and the silencing of victims. When they shame them, everybody goes silent. So where does this mindset, the mind shift, need to start from? Because we know that a lot of people in the police are male. So where do we need to start the re-education from? I believe this is a collective responsibility. So how can we do that?
Personally, it needs to start with us. It needs to start with us recognizing that a woman is equally a human. And we need to understand that femicide is a human rights issue, And if we are able to look into ourselves, I was just having a conversation with someone in the morning, and they were talking about how it is easier for a human being to victim shame than to actually acknowledge that this is a problem, because then by acknowledging that it's a problem, then they themselves feel the guilt that they're not doing much about it. Yeah. But I think it is time right now for people to actually realize that it's not about that woman who went to an Airbnb and probably met a stranger. 80% of these cases actually happen at their homes, And secondly, it's time people need to recognize that it's no longer a matter of, just because two people are in a relationship or are married, then it's their business. So if you hear someone crying at night, you're not going to help because you're worried because you're assuming that it's their issue they need to deal with. It needs to start with us to actually recognize that people will just continue dying under our nose in the name of ignorance, And the fact that the culture is also playing a really huge push and pull with women, considering the woman is expected to hold the shame of the family. So for instance, when gender-based violence takes place, then it's for the woman to actually dress up and go out and act as though there's nothing going on, because that's how for a very, very long time we have been taught to be. We've been taught to endure. We've been taught to take care of family. In case of any problems, you're the one who's supposed to be in charge, you're supposed to be in control. But if we started teaching our children the importance of human rights, of women's rights, then we will be able to start a conversation that will lead to a solution. If we start teaching our boys the importance of conflict resolution mechanisms that bring forth peace that doesn't have to lead to someone killing, then we will now start talking about the solution. Further to this, the media has, it's unfortunate, but the way the agenda setting, the agenda framing, it's more focused on the victim and what the victim is going through, that they're failing to also highlight what about the perpetrator? What can be done to this perpetrator? And for to this, even those people who lose their relatives, their family members to femicide, we rarely hear them speak. Where are their voices? So I feel if we were able to discuss this situation as a wholesome thing, then now we begin to discuss matters social, not just have a baseless conversation around, so we lost someone. Then what? If we start asking the questions, then what? Then we will be able to now to have a better engagement. And this has to start with us. We need to acknowledge that we are actually a problem. By not saying anything, we are a problem. By victim blaming, we are a problem. And recognizing that, okay, the minute you recognize you are a problem, then now we're able to move to what can I do about it?
Thank you, Stephanie. I'm sorry to cut you off, but you touched on something quite important when you said it starts with us. And I saw a report on USA Today, read a report yesterday actually, where the mayor of New York City declared social media a public hazard. Now, we know that a couple of these victims, I think, met their killers online, on social media, right? And I think that it's important that, as you said, we should start with ourselves, but also that we as women need to take our safety, we need to make our safety our #1 priority. And if social media or the use of social media is perpetuating the trappings, of the lifestyle that it promotes, I think perhaps maybe we need to also look at the kind of access. Perhaps we also need to look at what we're doing with social media. And also, do you think that these platforms, they play a role in what we're seeing happen today?
I will be very frank. Even before the social media, women are being killed. 80% of the cases that we've had is not as a result of women who go to the Airbnbs. Those are select cases. I feel the challenge we are having starts from the society itself. I agree that social media has made it easier for pimps, for instance, because most of the time when the women are killed, it's towards organ trafficking. It becomes a way bigger issue. It's more of human trafficking cases increasing. So if we start looking at the situation from the beginning, recognizing that it's not just that the women who are meeting the people are the only people who are having challenges, but really a bigger chunk of these people die at the hands of their husbands and boyfriends. And if we start having the conversation in terms of our own parents, because there's a level to parental negligence. I do believe that you can agree with me that in the age of 20s and 30s,
yes, I will want to say a very big thank you to you, Rachel, Stephanie, Aki, for joining this conversation. We surely know that it's a developing story, and we'll keep our eyes on Kenya and other parts of Africa where we begin to see this story develop. We'll be taking a quick break.
Yes, because I have to vacate my seat to allow the original...
You are not vacating nada. You are not...
I vacate my seat to allow the original owner.
No, there's no original... There's space for everybody here.
There is space for everybody, I do agree.
She's not going anywhere. We're not letting her go. Not today. I think we're safe when she's here.
But just very quickly, though, I mean, something else was trending whilst AFCON was trending, and the whole Nigeria and Cameroon game was trending at the same time. And it takes us to our sisters in Cameroon, right? And this is the hashtag Stop Bopta. Now, allegations of rape, pimping, and sexual exploitation fuel the hashtag on Twitter, which has gathered over 100,000 posts on what has become a scandal. Now, what's his name? Heavy Bopta was giving a blank check to abduct, to threaten, to rape, and sometimes illegally confine women and men, with some being underage, without ever being questioned by the police or for decades. Now, the question really is, has he been giving such levity to do this? Anonymous testimonies of women and men have emerged on social media in Cameroon after an activist shared the testimony of an alleged victim who accused the heir of a rich and influential business conglomerate of violence. We're talking about, you know, I think that my mom said something the other day. She said, I think we're living in a system of justice and injustice. We're seeing some justice being meted out for offenders. If you look at what's happening in Nigeria, EFCC is carrying people, you know, people are being arrested and people are being convicted. But there is also a high level of injustice going on. And that's because people in authority can take advantage of the system. They can take advantage of the legal system.
And it's just spreading.
And this
like
is happening this is happening as well here.
And it just makes, I know it sounds funny, but I'm very happy that it's not, Nigeria is not the focus only. Now we're beginning to see that this thing is beyond us. It's like an endemic problem that is, it's entrenched in somewhere in Africa. Because this one is about the rich oppressing the poor. Maybe because this is the son of a wealthy person that is.
They're always.
It's not just about the rich oppressing the poor. Anybody that sits in a place of power
authority,
or authority, anybody that has the power and authority to what's the word, to and can do things without being
censored,
without any recourse. If they're not caught, they will continue to do what they want to do. But if there's no punishment, they will continue to do what they want to do. And if they have the lawyers in their back pockets or judges, if they have the police in their back pockets,
like
then nothing can be done about it.
It sounds minimalist, but it's about money. Who has more?
Okay.
After the initial claim posted on the 19th of January, dozens of testimonies were published under the hashtag #StopBobda. Influencers were accused of acting as pimps, and some members of the security forces were accused of covering up depositions for years. This is something that has happened. The man has had a free reign. He has moved across the country, the continent. Now our brothers and sisters from Côte d'Ivoire, Senegal, Benin, and all over the world are joining to denounce this impunity. As in, everybody is now, in other words, putting mouth in the matter.
I'm just happy
but they're putting mouth, but nobody's arresting.
But all the same, the thing is...
So I don't know what they're putting mouth for. Nobody's arresting.
Good. You know, before, we didn't have social media. Social media is helping us to highlight some of these terrible stories that are coming out of Africa. Social media is giving us... We'll take a break.
My ears are full.
I wanted us to round up with the story, but we'll take a break. When we return on JASIRI, trust us, hot topics are still ahead, and we'll talk a little more about this Bopta story.
Welcome back to the show. Now, as we said earlier, we are focusing on women's stories. But before we enter the story, let us make welcome Tolulope Adeleru Balogun.
I love it. You guys are learning with me. Oh God, I miss you guys. I miss you guys. If you see the way that I was just commanding them to help me get back on time, because the stories today.
The stories are something else.
The stories, so Buki and myself were talking over the weekend, and it was just like, there's no way we can drop one, move them, because all the stories connect women across the continent.
Yeah.
And when we're doing the Hervé Bodap story, the Stop Bodap situation, if you are able to follow some of the tweets and translate them into English, it's absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Over the past several decades, 20 years or more, this man has gone free. He has walked free, assaulted, kidnapped, raped, done whatever it was to minors, men and women. And a lot of the times the suspicion is that he wasn't the only person. So he's done it in such a way that there are other powerful, guilty people around him, and it's in their interest to protect him as well.
Is this not another Weinstein situation?
Weinstein,
Epstein, all these things together.
Yes, that was actually a comparison that somebody made, that he is Cameroon's Epstein.
But I know that something is going to happen. Something always happens.
Apparently he has left the country, he has run away from the country now.
Okay.
He's no longer in Cameroon, but we don't know, because it's only official government that can ask for his extradition, that can bring charges, but none of that has happened for 20 years. So people are not sure how much will come from this hashtag. But at least people are free enough to share their stories and to at least highlight the situation with him. So he really can't escape. Maybe he can't escape social justice. He may be able to escape government justice and official legal justice, but at this point, I'm not sure if you'll
The courts of the people.
Yes,
Yeah.
the courts of the people has ruled.
Yeah.
Then, ladies, please, what happened with Aya Star? Because I was ready for that combo. I was ready for that
I
combo.
watched the both
You
of
have-
them in African
Oh,
clubs.
my
I
Lord.
made sure that
That
I
what
watched
happened?
them.
That what?
You have
That what
nothing the
happened?
sleeping dragon.
Oh, I said, honestly, for me, I blame Ira Star's handlers because she cannot go into a place. I saw somebody behind her.
And the guy to
taking
the
her,
side,
guiding her.
yes.
Then what is your use? That young lady might actually not know who these people are. But you, as a handler, you should whisper. At least I know that it happens to me. I don't know many of these new Gen Z people. My PA is always by my side telling me this person is from Big Brother too. This person is from... Oh, I'll say hi. I say, oh, that's so fake. Yeah, but at least it's show business. I understand how
people have argued
shaking him.
Lolo will not allow you. Lolo has
Okay, I want to hear.
I was going to argue that while some people are saying, no, she should have known better because as a Yoruba girl with home training,
Yes.
even if you don't know who is in front of you,
This side.
If somebody looks
give
older than you,
yourself
Yeah, that looks
see her
way
slightly
older.
bow her head.
What did you see slightly bow?
Okay, hold on. Buki, what was your side of this argument?
My side of the argument is that we need to stop weaponizing culture against women.
I'm with Buki.
That's my
Do you
side
know
of the
how
argument.
much they use culture
I'm
as
tired
a
of
way
it.
to keep
I'm
women
literally
down?
Just
tired
look
of
at
it.
them.
Yes, look at me.
Say it. No, say my full name.
So what is weaponizing respect? Are you
Uh-huh.
saying that this is weaponizing respect? Why do we want to lose the fabric of our culture? This is like tearing the fabric completely like a show.
Aya Star is not tearing any fabric.
Oh,
no.
really? Shaking it, shaking
She's
it.
not tearing any fabric. What do you mean?
What do you mean? Is our problem
What
in
do you mean?
Nigeria?
It's like
Is that we are
Which fabric? Which fabric?
Oh,
We're
really?
also ageist.
We're democratic.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
a democratic
Yes.
society.
I hear you.
We think
I'm
old
not
people
saying-
know everything.
Oh, no,
they're everything.
you guys, because you have been schooled abroad, the both of you.
No, what's going on?
It is the abroad schooling that is scattering your heads.
What's going on here? Because
Honestly, look at this
So
well-trained
look at me,
Yoruba
like,
girl.
no, I want to scatter it today.
And they are telling me
What
that
is it?
they are
She said she couldn't see.
It's
Lolo
okay.
herself,
It's
Captain, you
okay.
yourself. You've been in these situations where you
It's
enter
okay.
these events. You don't see clearly who's in
the
front
only
of you.
thing I have
What
balanced,
is it?
why I have balanced this your argument is that maybe she did not know who they were.
And she came back and apologized.
We are not saying we didn't take our apology, but
Uh-huh.
still does not mean that the
producers
deities
order. Producer's order.
okay, please.
Because you're on set with us
Because
today.
I'm on net.
What
Let's
else?
move on
Because
to
this
this
next story is
It's equally big.
Okay.
It's hard. It's
Okay.
equally
I
horrifying.
have the
Oh, yeah.
details
So
because
look-
I'm the one. This is her apology. Please let us leave Aya Star alone.
I had just walked in and all the lights and nerves didn't let me see, but I came back around and to greet everyone properly. I've never been that girl to be disrespectful. I'm a proper Yoruba girl now, so. And the video didn't start until I greeted Bernard's mom. Hey, you don't mean it.
Even Uncle.
Miss Bobby.
Oh, Aramigbon.
Drink water and drop the cup. By
we
the
will
way,
not
Tolu,
see.
please take us through this
Okay,
story.
let's go to this next story because
Thank
this
you.
weekend we were up in arms. I was personally up in arms on this story. So this is a situation of a woman on Twitter. Her name is Iffy, who shared the fact that she took her daughter to go and register for JAM. She now used her phone number for the JAM registration.
Yeah.
You don't know what
And then
happened.
somebody came knocking. A gentleman who worked in the registration center who had seen the daughter now used the phone number, took the phone number from the JAM system and started contacting her daughter. Yes, thinking that he was talking to her. Meanwhile, Iffy had used her number. So this 22-year-old man was in communication with a 15-year-old girl whose number he got from JAM.
Thank you.
So many issues of data privacy,
Yes.
potential pedophilia, attempts to groom. I spoke to Iffy yesterday. We had a very long conversation. JAM officials are actually coming to meet her today. The Lagos Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency is also involved because she is a minor. But when you look at the responses on social media,
That
there's
is
so
what
many
is
people who are like, why is
heartbreaking.
she making a big deal out of this? She's going to cost the guy his job. She should just block him so that he can move on to somebody else's daughter.
Really? You know,
If he's done it this time, it's not the first time.
No. I have a daughter, and I cannot just imagine. This is like violation of her privacy. When you put your data into all these things that you feel for your children, either for JAM, WAEC, you put a lot of personal details.
Yes.
They ask for your name, your
Birth date,
your
home,
parents'
your
name,
address.
your home address. There's so many things that should be protected. And this guy just shows that he doesn't have discipline or know his job. So if I use my phone numbers for almost all my children's registration.
And now you see why.
It's just for safety.
I think it's beyond discipline, whether he has discipline or doesn't have discipline. There's obviously a fundamental breach.
Yes. Yes.
And I think there's a fundamental problem with the way we protect, with the way we capture data, with the way we keep data
Guys, you don't
in Nigeria.
understand.
Because
no,
how do you go into the system?
Guys, let's give you some context.
Yes.
What's the
Now,
context?
I like to carry people along. Listen, this man has been sending all manner of chats to her, thinking it's her daughter.
Yesterday morning, he asked for pictures.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Can you
he's still
imagine?
chatting with her, thinking she's chatting with the woman's daughter. So she went to, that's how she took the matter to Twitter, formerly with X, now formerly known as Twitter, to call out the man's behavior as well as Jam. That's why Tolu says, everybody now, and we're talking about it, everybody entered how it's not so serious, she could have just blocked the guy.
It is serious.
Cost the guy's job.
No, it is serious.
Even to be.
But do you know what we notice? If you're on social media, you'll notice, not a large percentage, but some men will leave Nigeria and go and carry this disgraceful, disgusting behavior abroad.
No, they
Remember
and
that
I
will
won't
get
say
caught.
they will. They have already.
They have, so they get
carried
caught.
it.
Here's one of the chats when she told him very clearly, I am 15. He said he's 21. She said, I'm 15, or I'm sure you already know that.
All
he
right,
said,
baby
yeah,
girl.
I know.
No. Text me when
he's
you're
even
in
calling
your
her.
room.
All right, baby girl.
So yesterday
when
he
you're
asked
in
for
your room.
pictures, and the mother said, no, I can't give you pictures.
Text
and
me when you are
convinced him
in your room.
The mother convinced him to send his own
Grooming.
pictures. So he was texting with the mother, sending pictures, and at this point in time, Ife and myself are supposed to speak after this, and after she meets with the JAM officials and DSVA, it's very likely he may have tried to meet this girl somewhere. So again, we're a society who are indulging in these things, and we find people going outside and carrying this bad behavior.
Yes.
So they're getting arrested.
Yes.
They're being victims. Yes, the guy
did
that
you
was
see one of and
begging.
the guy just got to London like 8 months.
They'll be saying he's
It's
his
going
village
up to
people.
1 year.
It's not his village people. It's a society that allows it.
Society
No,
has
it is a
allowed the
carryover behavior.
See, I think that, honestly to God, because I will act before I ask questions.
Yes.
If I hear,
I love it.
If I smell it,
Yes.
See, let me tell you something, and I don't know if I should even say this on air, but I'm going to say it. I think that the first punishment for any pedophile is castration.
Yeah.
Let's end it.
No.
Act first.
No, that's the
End the
first,
show or
the
end
first
the
action.
End the guy's career in
End the
that
first action is
Just
castration.
snip them. Maybe, but the thing is, when you do extreme behavior, sometimes it brings out even more demonic
No, but so
behavior.
there have been studies on chemical castration versus actual physical
I
castration.
think there are different ways to.
What are the
so many ways to
ways?
the market.
There are people inside this thread who are telling her that she's 15. Oh, this is the one that she's caught. What about the one she does not know about? What will she do about the one she does not know? But the boys that
But
her
the
daughter
one that we know
on now.
about,
We can do
now.
something about
because
it.
if we don't do like this is might just be happening to a child. People have that's how 419 people, fraudsters get your number.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
they can look at you and say, this person is rich.
Please, my own
They-
is. He sent
no.
his pictures.
Yes.
Sent his
Very
pictures.
good.
They have
That's
his
okay.
They
pictures.
send his pictures.
But do you know another thing? So we're talking about data entry, and JAM is really on this thing because it's caused a lot of issues. But think about all the places we go. They ask us to write our name.
Write your name, write
I'm
your
so
number.
sorry. I apologize to whoever has been getting my calls because I write another number.
I write a wrong.
I changed my address
Yes.
because I'm thinking. Imagine all the places over the years that we've gone
That
and we've dropped
you've
our
dropped
phone
your
numbers,
your
our
number, your
addresses,
email.
our
How do you
office
get the
location.
gumption to approach this girl? What did you see about this girl that made
She
you
must be
think
pretty.
that
She
Can
looks
I
lush.
raise hand on that?
Yeah.
One of the things, and I'll say it, I was a developed 15-year-old.
Of course.
At 15, you'll look at me, you will not know I was 15.
Of course, I
if you
was.
even, and let's be honest, some people may be older taking JAM, usually not so old, but older. But the moment that WhatsApp came out and she said again, I am 15, you drop it.
You drop it.
You
You say,
drop
I'm
it.
sorry.
Yeah. I used to follow my
there's
sisters to
still
university.
issues,
I
though.
would have their friends approach me. The moment my sister would say, she's 14, oh, if you see speed.
Jackpot. You know, I tell
But in Nigeria, no.
Can
You know, these days I
for you
actually
to
tell.
say that so boldly. The child says, I'm helping my mom make dinner.
It says,
Call
call me when you get to your room.
Tell me when you come back to your
So he knows that he wants to
English,
get
you
her
don't even know.
alone.
Yes.
Text me,
The-
text me when you're in your room.
The
grooming.
solicitation is not something. I mean, it really. You look at this and you know that this is
small.
It's not. This is small.
This is actually small.
It's not an
I know this-
isolated
Do you know
situation
that?
because
There's
it's happening
another
on the
thing.
daily. It's just
Yes.
that This one
was just
we
caught.
have caught you.
You know that there's another thing parents need to be very conscious of. When my daughter was 13, you know, when they go to school and they get new phones, you know, you buy them, they form WhatsApp groups. These WhatsApp groups are infiltrated by daddies, pedophiles, older men. Do you know that one of them was soliciting my 13-year-old at that time, asking for her house address? But because she was just a child. She didn't even know what was going on. She was telling the person, I live in this place. My mommy is this person. And that one was so interested. Because when I read, I'm like, oh my God. That was when all my children never got phones until they were out of university.
I've already told my husband,
they were out of secondary school.
I'm sorry, I'm not a helicopter parent now, but because I'm a woman, I've had my experiences. I was stalked for more than 2 months. I was on Okada. And so this is the problem when you know Nigeria has an issue. I was on Okada, telling the Okada not to stop because this guy was following me on another Okada. Do you know the Okada stopped because he told them to stop? He said, Madam, I don't want to get involved.
Can you imagine?
You can imagine. On a very public street in
just throw you under the bus.
A lot of women have had experiences, and I pray to God to, I'm not trying to cotton wool her, but to stop her from having those experiences. I will give you the phone, but the spyware will be on that phone. Location will be on that phone. If you have it in my house, I need to know where you are. I need to know who you're talking to. It's not possible. It's not possible.
It's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
Yeah. No, because these days it's better to
be safe than sorry.
Yeah, it's better to be safe
rather
than sorry.
be safe.
And we have to, as much as possible, try to defend, protect your own.
Yes,
go street.
Guard your own with all diligence.
Anyway,
they say what the violent.
We've had a very heated conversation, and I'm sure that a lot of you.
I stand with you. I stand with Star.
Star has already apologized.
It doesn't matter. I still stand with her.
She's a well-behaved Yoruba girl. Anyway, before we go, we would like to express our heartfelt appreciation to our growing community who are constantly watching our shows and sharing our posts. We see your comments and we see your tags, and we love the energy. We will continue to give you an amazing show every time.
Every single time.
It's our scout.
What is going on with this color coordination?
So
you were wearing white and green.
I don't know. Our production team are fantastic. They always do a fantastic
Catherine, I'm talking.
They make us look
Catherine, I'm talking.
Pretty. I don't hear anything. We got to go. We are going.
This is how you welcome me back on
present
set.
continuous, present past tense. We are going, we are gone.
We'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Let's make it a date again tomorrow.
Our producer.
Thank you to Stephanie for joining us. I'm sorry we couldn't catch a lot of what you said, but we heard enough. And we stand with you. We stand with our sisters in Kenya. We stand with our sisters in Cameroon. We stand with our sisters in Nigeria and all across Africa. Don't forget to join us on our social media platforms at News Central TV. #JASIRI. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good morning.
Yes.